Okay, today we're starting Chapter 5 in Lesson 1, and this topic is solving inequalities by addition and subtraction. So, let's go ahead and get started here. Let's start with this. So, the first topic we're going to talk about here is addition property of inequalities. What this means here is it's an equation, only it's got an inequality symbol. So, instead of calling it an equation, we just call it an inequality. Do you guys remember how last time when we were working, I guess so far this year, when we're working with equations, whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other. So if you add a number to one side, you have to add the same number to the other side in order for it to stay equal. Same here. When we're dealing with inequalities and you add a number, let's say C, to one side, you add the same number to the other side. This works because it has to be true on both sides. Let's see. So let's do an example here. So the inequality is C minus 12, and that, whatever that side is, it's greater than 65. So in order to solve for C, in order to figure out what our C is, we need to get rid of this, right? So we're going to add 12 to both sides, and it ends up being 77 on this side. Now we're done. C is greater than 77. So if we plug this in to here, when we say 77 plus 12, it says here to check substitute, and it says a number to check substitute 77, a number less than 77, and a number greater than 77 in order to figure out if this works. So if C is greater than 77, let's say 78. If we plug 78 in here, does this value end up being larger than 65? And it does, because this value would end up being 66, right? Okay, so your answer, it's not just C is greater than 77, but it could be any number that's greater than 77. So we write that here as all numbers greater than 77. So let's take a look at another example here. Let's try this one. So K minus 4 is less than 10. Pause right here, see what you can do. When you're ready, hit play. I'm going to show you my work for this one. So I've got K minus 4 is less than 10. We're working on getting K on a side by itself, right? So I'm going to add 4 to both sides, and I end up with K is less than 14. So just to check your answer, pick your favorite number that's less than 14. I'm going to do 13. So if I plug in 13 here, 13 minus 4, is that number less than 10? Yeah, because you get 9. So that's just a good way to check your answer and make sure it's right. So just like we were doing addition, the same goes for subtraction. If you subtract one number on one side of the equation, you got to do the same on the other side. So it's the same as equations, only now we're talking about inequalities because it has a different symbol in the front. So this one, it looks kind of funny here with our answer options. We'll talk about this here in a minute, but this is asking us to solve this. X plus 23 is less than 14. So we're going to have to do what? Subtract 23 on both sides. So subtract 23 on both sides, you end up with X is less than negative 9. So they wrote their answer in set builder notation. So we might have just said X is less than negative 9. But this set builder notation, it's kind of a fun way to write our answer here. It says it's a concise way of writing a solution set. So what we're saying here is for all numbers of X, all values of X, X has to be greater than or equal to 20. So we've used these symbols before, and again, this just means the set. And I know it looks kind of funny here, but we're just saying X, for any number of X, X is greater than or equal to 20. Okay, so here, solve the inequality. Again, all of our answer options are in that set builder notation. Just focus on the end part here. What are we getting for M? And then we can figure out which one of these is our answer. So M is N minus 4 is greater than or equal to negative 8. Pause right here, see what you can do. And then I'll show you my work. When you're ready, hit play. So what I got for this one here, M minus 4 is greater than or equal to negative 8. I added 4 to both sides, and I ended up still with a negative 4 on this side. So M is greater than or equal to negative 4. I got C for this one. So this is the part I worked through in the problem, and then I said, okay, for the value of m is greater than or equal to -4. Just a kind of a fancy way to write that. So this part here we're going to take a look at. So this says solve 12n minus 4 is less than or equal to 13n, and it says graph the solution. So we are going to work on getting n by itself, and there might be a couple of steps to this problem. So what they did here, first step was subtracting, oh this was nice, subtract 12n from both sides and you end up with 1n on this side. So 1n, we end up with -4 is less than or equal to n. When it says to graph this, we're graphing this on a number line. What that means is we're going to draw out our number line here, and we need this to be equal to 4 or greater than. So we're going to shade in the 4 and do everything on this side. Okay? So the next one, take a look at this one. So pause right here, see what you can do. When you're ready, hit play. What I did for this one here, what I was looking at, 3p minus 6 is greater than or equal to 4p. So what I did is I subtracted 3p from both sides. When I did that, subtract 3p from both sides, I had 4 minus 3. That gave me a 1. I didn't write the 1, but it's there, right? So 1, and now I've got -6 is greater than or equal to p. I kind of like it writing the variable first, so I just rewrote it saying p. Oh, I shouldn't have switched the symbol, right guys? Sorry about that. So that would mean I flipped this, so that would go this way, right? Because if I switch where the p is and the -6, I should flip these. Okay, so if we're saying p is less than or equal to -6, it could be equal to it, so let's shade in the 6. So if we shade in the 6, and we need p is less than that, so we're going to go less than -6. Could be either one of these. What's the difference? Oh, this one has the symbol facing the wrong way, right? So we're going to go to this one. All right. How about this one? So this is just a reminder of your symbol options. So if there's a line underneath, it means it could also be equal to. If there's no line underneath, it just means it's less than or greater than. I always get confused with naming these, so just remember the small side goes towards the smaller number. The large side goes towards the larger number. And we usually read from left to right. So if this is less than, this would be the smaller side here, and this would be the larger number here. If we're saying this is less than this. Or in this case, we're saying this number is greater than this number. Okay. And then let's take a look at a word problem here. So this is saying Tanya wants to buy season passes for 2 theme parks. If one season pass costs $54.99 and has she has $100 to spend on both, what's the cost of the second pass? It says it must cost no more than what? So we're going to say the first one plus the second has to be equal to 100 or less than 100. She can't go over it because she doesn't have more than that, more money than that, right? So we're going to take this inequality, write that out here, and we're going to solve for x. So 54.99 plus x less than or equal to 100, so we're going to subtract 54.99 from both sides. When you do that, I ended up with x is less than or equal to 45. So that means 45.01, that must be the cost of the second ticket, or less than. It could be less than that as well. So how about you try this one? So check your work, try this one, hit play when you're ready to see my work. So when I'm working through this one, it says Jeremiah is taking 2 of his friends out for pancakes. So if he spends this much on their meals and he has this much to spend total, how much should Jeremiah's be? So we're saying the friends plus Jeremiah should be less than or equal to 26, right? So this was me kind of thinking through everything. We're saying I put the friends plus Jeremiah's pancakes has to be less than or equal to 26. So I plugged in 1755 plus Jeremiah's has to be less than or equal to 26. So then what I did, if I subtract 1755 from both sides, minus 1755 minus 1755, I end up getting this answer, 845 for my answer. Alright? Please let me know if you have questions, guys. This should not be a substitute for working in class. This is just extra help for you guys. So please, 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 let me know if you have questions, and I'll go through any and all of these examples in class, and I can do additional examples as well. So here's your homework. There's 10 questions. Please let me know if you've got any questions on them. Good luck.